Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel. Welcome here specifically to Steve's Wrestling Ramble. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, the special Smackdown Live, Smackdown 1000, epic or non-epic 1000th episode of Smackdown. Some news and notes. The biggest thing that I did want to bring up that we'll be bringing up in the main event here tonight will be about WWE Crown Jewel. Get my thoughts and everybody else's that joins. Some may be joining during. Get our thoughts on do we think they should go ahead and have this show there in Saudi Arabia or not. And we'll talk about that when we get to that. But first, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. And before we even talk about Monday Night Raw, let's welcome everybody first. My co-host, Kyron Chase.
Yo, what's up?
Blackman, how you doing?
I'm doing splendid as usual.
Monday Night Raw, at least to most, wasn't as splendid as you would hope for. What were you guys over, I guess, in the beginning? We'll just start with the first match, start up with the opening segment, opening match. You guys' thoughts of the start of this week's Monday Night Raw, Kyron?
You just want me to talk about one segment or the whole thing?
Well, the opening segment.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nothing I haven't seen before. The dogs, Braun and Friends promo, I mean, nothing really happened in the promo, and nothing the show really said happened either. It was just set up Seth and Drew, which is why it was a good match. It's something we've seen a million times before, which was the theme of Raw.
I was at the Impact tapings in Melrose Ballroom, and someone put on Raw, and I was like, what's happening on Raw? Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman? And it was Braun Strowman. I'm like, oh, of course it is. Why not? Because the authority's not there. It's got to be Braun or Roman. And it was Braun. Same old shit. Yeah, there's no point talking about the opening segment of War. They didn't even call themselves the Dogs of War anymore. It was stupid name. At least WWE realized it was a stupid name. Didn't call them that anymore. Thank goodness. Just those three names, original.
Now heading into this, I thought you guys were going to like it at least a little bit more, because it wasn't Roman Reigns, it wasn't the Shield, it wasn't that redundancy.
It's one of the
redundancy of opening of Monday Night Raw. Like, I thought you may be a little bit okay with that.
No, the show is
over, and Braun being a popular WWE superstar, and not Roman Reigns shoved down our throats, as I would assume most think.
The DOWs have started Raw before, many times before, since they became that faction, and they did it again. What's new? What's new? They're going to brag about something they did the previous week. We're good and you're not. Same old shit. What else do you want? What originality is there? What?
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, when was the last time we started an episode of Raw where it wasn't the Dogs of War, the Shield? It doesn't matter what they say because we've seen it before. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but then you get to the main event when we've gotten that same match twice last week in 3 days, and then we get it again this week. And people wonder why people aren't watching Raw when you give us the same stuff every week.
Everyone knows I like Impact, and if it started with Austin Aries, Sami Callihan, or Johnny Mundo, the infamous five every fucking week there, I wouldn't watch that shit. I wouldn't start to watch that shit. Same old shit. Well, what does WWE do? They have the most talent in the entire world, bar none. 100 people on the main roster, and they use 5 per show. Get out of here, man. Same shit there. Come on. You know what would be different? If Dolph Ziggler came out alone, started talking about stuff, and then get endorsed by Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose. Nope. Same old shit. Braun and his goons or Roman and his goons. Same shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll be on the other side of the coin. I just want, just being devil's advocate of maybe it is that same old shit of having these 6 starting off of Monday Night Raw, whether it was the Shield, whether it is Dogs of War, it was this past Monday, because that is the main storyline, the main focus, especially you have heading into WWE Crown Jewel that as of right now still is going to be happening at the start of the month. You have Roman Reigns defending his title against Braun Strowman, against Brock Lesnar, who for damn sure isn't going to be on a Raw. But still, so you don't have Brock there, so you might as well have Braun and Roman, or one or each. And I would assume, and in my thinking, or in WWE thinking, well, most may not, hate Roman, blah, 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 so let's have Braun Strowman, a guy, guy that people, so to speak, people that are more into to start off the show with, his team there. So again, just counter argument of why I may think that WWE does have that same old shit with having them starting off the show because they are the main storyline fraction of Monday.
That's not just a catchphrase. That's reality. That same old shit thing that Cultaholic coined. That's not a catchphrase. That's reality. That's reality. But you want more proof? Look at the SmackDown 1000 intro. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, right. when you get to that one, Clackman's gonna get fucking unleashed. Let's fucking go.
I can't wait to talk about SmackDown 1000. That's what I can't wait to talk about.
Oh, you know what? Let's be respectful to the host. Let's keep going with this Raw nonsense, and we'll delve into the meat of the matter, which is SmackDown 1000, aka the cameo show.
Yes.
Yes. Let's. Well, don't worry. We can steamroll through Raw, but let's just start off with the first batch of stuff. So, Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins defeating one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions Drew McIntyre via count to qualify for the WWE World Cup. You have Nia Jax and Ember Moon defeating Dana Brooke and Tamina. Hey, Tamina, she still exists. And we have the Bella Twins. Sorry if I could speak. The Bella Twins confronting Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. You guys can speak on any or all of the first three matches, and it's 2 matches in a segment. They're with Monday Night Raw.
Okay. Well, Rollins and McIntyre. It was what it was. I can't say it was a bad match because it wasn't a bad match, but at what point to say we've seen pretty much every variation of these two teams going against each other you can think of. What makes this any more special? The women's tag match I barely paid attention to. And then the worst part is you had Ember Moon out there looking like an idiot. And here's something that I didn't even think about until I saw a tweet. She's been on the main roster since the Raw to WrestleMania. She hasn't had one storyline yet. And then you got this battle royal and don't give me that BS of, we got to get every woman on the card. SmackDown has one women's feud on the card. And all Raw has is Nikki and Ronda, the tag team match. And they're going to do the 6-woman tag match with Sasha, Bayley, and Natalya versus Riot Squad. Great use of Sasha and Bayley there. And then even some of the women aren't happy about it. I think, Naomi, the Iconics, and Lana all tweeted about not being happy about that. Why should they be? This is the first women's pay-per-view ever, and the bulk of the women on the show are going to be in a battle royal.
Two more Sundays, right? 2 more Sundays until 2 more, right?
Yeah, a week from Sunday.
Okay. And their main match is Nikki versus Ronda, which everyone expected, right? And then we get the bait and switch match, which was Lita and Trish versus Mickey and Alexa, the bait and switch match, and another match we all thought was coming. We got Charlotte versus what's her name, Becky Lynch, and another match, third match in a row with those two.
But at least that's something. At least they put enough spin on it for that to be exciting, but to be given the last minute stipulation. And it is
that's got to be legit good. I mean, that's got to be like some street hood shit. Falls Count Anywhere, that the crowd should be fearing for the goddamn lives. Seriously, get out of the way. Yeah, don't be in the wrecking ball shit there. Don't get in the way. If you want to know how to do it right there, look at DDT Pro Wrestling or NJPW Super Juniors Tournament. The crowd is fearing for the fucking lives there. Get out of the damn way. Oh, you stopped in the ground? Too bad.
And finally, and I mean, I can keep ranting about Evolution. No, don't worry. Next Thursday we do the predictions. I'm gonna pretty much reiterate everything I've been saying over the last 2.5 months.
Yeah. Get in there.
And also finally the Nikki and Ronda thing. And let's be honest, this is the only thing on Raw I gave a damn about even like. And it started off, Ronda was like, I'll be honest.
Whoa, hold on. You're right there. That's the only best part of Raw. Now, did you see NXT this week? Any of you?
I've been busy. I didn't get a chance to see NXT. Like, I did see the ending. I saw the ending.
Which is very good. Okay, that was the best part. Yeah, the match between when I was watching it, I was thinking like, holy crap, this is as good as the best women's match they had on the show so far. Like it was Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair, the EST of NXT. Like really good match there, really good innovative moves there, different styles of the characters. Crazy chick there, diva chick there, really good clash of styles there, really good moves there, whipping each other, big sound effects there, just going crazy stuff. There was like 100 miles an hour. It was the second match, but still were just as crazy and wild as the first one. And I'm like, this is as good, if not better, than the NXT match between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane is going to be on the if you're gonna put anything else on the show, put Bianca and Nikki Cross again on the damn show, and it'll fucking make everyone's like jaw drop if they haven't seen it yet, because it's only been on NXT. So put on the main roster and watch them blow people's minds away. You got what again? Oh, okay, good. Talk. I'm busy right now. Hold up.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I mean, with the Ronda and Nikki promo, because I gotta talk about that. It started off Ronda. It was kind of dull. I'm not gonna lie, Ronda. I hate when they try to make Ronda like a humble type person. I hate that because when you see the second half of her promo where she's just a badass, this is the Ronda Rousey I want to see. Now, I'm watching the promo, and literally I'm sitting back, and I'm everything Nikki and Brie are saying, I'm just like, yeah, no, not really. No, that's not true. Everything Ronda's saying, I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's true. You got Nikki saying we made the term diva mean something. No, you didn't, because everyone hated that term. And then Ronda saying, everything the Divas division stood for made me sick. Yeah, yes, thank you. I mean, I might as well just talk about the elephant in the room. Ronda would pretty much put Nikki in a coffin, saying the only door you knocked down was the door to John Cena's bedroom, and then he threw you out of that door. Mm-hmm. And then the worst thing is, here's how you know Nikki, and I know it's scripted. This is when you know this Nikki was beat. What did she do at the Ronda said that? She just started shaking her ass. At that point, I said, why am I supposed to take Nikki Bella? Why am I supposed to take Nikki Bella seriously? If two, just everything that one with Nikki shaking her ass, that means that everything Ronda said was true. You can't.
Yeah.
You should have thought something better than that. I mean, I'm looking at you like there's not a damn thing you can do.
That's like that deer in the headlights look they had after that comment. The deer in the headlights look. Oh shit.
And it's the same thing like I said with Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. There's not a damn thing you can do. Make me believe Nikki Bella is a legit contender to Ronda Rousey, and you're gonna try to make this feel like the biggest women's match ever. And then I don't know about you guys, but I've heard reports and seen reports that WWE wants to get Ronda on Total Divas. That 1% killed everything you said about Ronda if you get on that garbage ass show. And I tell you what, I'm still not gonna watch it. So
yeah.
you can. I don't care you put it on there. I'm not watching that show.
Oh come on, man.
So that one segment,
the Divas in bikinis, man. That Divas in bikinis.
And screw that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 3 words. 3 words. Divas in bikinis. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, Total Divas
you can find any of them in bikinis.
Total Divas, like I've been saying, is the embodiment of everything that the women's revolution is supposed to be against. But
that's why I watch it. That's exactly why I watch it.
I mean, at this point, like I said, the match is happening. Like I tweeted, and no one's giving me a good reason as to how did Nikki earn a title shot because she didn't win a match or do anything to do it. Right. She just attacked Ronda, and it's like I think I said last week, and I saw someone tweeted it. Nia got her title shot at WrestleMania, but because she was called fat. Ronda just had a title shot handed to her at Money in the Bank, and because the champion challenged her, which is probably the most legit excuse. And Nikki just attacked the champion and got a title shot. What is happening to earning title shots around here? I'm failing to see where that comes from. And like I said before about Evolution, Raw only has what? The women's title match between Ronda and Nikki and the tag team title match. SmackDown only has one feud. That's Becky and Charlotte. You got the Battle Royal, and then you also got the Mae Young tournament final. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and the NXT UK Women's Title match. So, and it's sad when I'm looking at like the only matches I care about are Charlotte and Becky, obviously because my favorite's in it, and everything NXT related. Nothing else I really don't care enough about. But I mean, I gotta say that one segment was probably the only thing I cared about on Raw the whole night. But we'll talk about the rest of the show.
Steve, what's your most anticipated match for Evolution?
My most anticipated Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Last one standing.
And would you go out of your way and pay $300 for a ticket to see that match in person?
Yes.
Kyron, you hear that?
Teach down. I mean, if that's, I mean, that's how he wants to. If he wants to go to the show, more power to him. I mean, you
All
won't
right.
see. I mean, you won't see me going. You wouldn't see me going to that show. You had to pay me to go there. I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, I have a channel I need to run, and I have to be here every Thursday, so I'm gonna watch the show, of course. But as you guys, and you know, the beauty of it is, you know, when I review things, I never hold back. If this show does bomb and I give it a negative review, I cannot wait to see all the negativity my review is gonna give me of calling me sexist because the first women's pay per view. But I don't give a damn because I'm not gonna give them. I'm not gonna cut them any slack. If the show sucks, I'm gonna say the show sucks. If it's good, I'll say it's good. But we just have to see. I don't care enough about the show because the only things I care about is one main roster feud and everything from NXT. And because I don't get to watch NXT regularly, I'm not interested in the storyline, but I know that there's still going to be good matches just because they're NXT. So what does that say when, you know, and when there's only one match I care about from the main roster?
Well, here's a quick question I have for both of you, and then we'll move on to finish up Raw and move to SmackDown Live. With your guys' low expectations with Evolution pay-per-view, like what exactly would need to happen on the show to make you think it'd be even good or okay? Like with so much low expectations, it's almost like anything they would try, you would, you know, it would still not be good. Like what would it take for it to be good, to be above your expectation, to be
Have the agent who makes the matches for NXT do the show. The idiots who do Raw with their distraction roll up finishes every fucking week, you can stay in the back to just put your head in the ground and up Miss McMahon's ass, and keep it there. Have the people who know what they're doing and the NXT people do the show.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, right now with the card
Ryan Ward, get your ass in here.
Yeah, Ryan Ward, thank you. Right now with the card they have, I mean, I just can't get into it. I mean, you expect me to be excited for Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey, or Trish and Lita versus Mickey and Alexa, in a 50-woman battle royal because you were too lazy to try to make real storylines, so you had to throw everyone in a battle royal, and that's what battle royals are really for. Because other than the Royal Rumble, give me a battle royal that usually means something. Nothing at all. I mean, hell, Naomi even tweeted, I'm paraphrasing. If when I win this battle royal, would I get 2 title shots because I never even got my trophy for winning the battle royal at WrestleMania? I'm like, their own talent don't want this battle royal. And once again, I'm not trying to say, like I said, I just feel like the idea I had is more something that I think most fans would want to see what they had. Like I said, my card was Sasha versus Trish, Ronda versus Natalya, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, Charlotte versus Becky, the UK Women's Championship, the Mae Young Classic Final, Bayley versus Ruby versus Ember, the No One Contenders match, Naomi versus Asuka, the No One Contenders match. And while sure not a lot of storyline might go into that, at least all those matches are something interesting. I mean, you gotta still continue storylines and the Battle Royals for a No One Contender shot, but why not use actual women in matches for a No One Contender shot? You mean to tell me Bayley, Ruby, and Ember in a triple threat No One Contenders match wouldn't be a great match? Or Naomi and Asuka in a No One Contenders match wouldn't be a great match as well? Like, the point of, and one thing I've heard reports, when SmackDown goes to Fox, they want they to be focused more on sport than comedy. Thank God. And I just feel like the card I I said I would have done would have been something more fans would like to see, and it could have had more of an NXT feel. And there's some matches that, hell, if you want to get people on the show, at least like big names, then why not do something like Lay Cool versus the Iconics? That's something. At least that's something.
That is cool. Yeah.
Exactly. But even then, you're gonna, and all these women that you said are coming back, you're just gonna bring them back for a battle royal. Why? I mean, granted, a lot of women, you're probably gonna bring back aren't the best workers, but and that makes sense. But I'm just saying, why not you can do some inter-promotional stuff for crying out loud. Take Asuka and Ember and just put them in a one-on-one match, and the winner gets a title shot on that brand. That's better than putting, those two, especially in a battle royal that won't mean anything. I mean, so what can they do to make me excited for Evolution? I really don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm just gonna watch the show when it happens because that's all I can do. We as fans told WWE a lot, what we think could help the show work, and they didn't listen. They still had to go their way. And the worst thing is, the best feud. Here's the same about Charlotte and Becky. That's arguably the best feud right now on the main roster. Why not? Those two women should be the main event. That should be the main event. Granted, Charlotte's gonna probably win again, which is gonna piss everybody off. But that's a better main event than Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. And then you got WWE in that top 5 list, ranking that's the 5th greatest betrayal of all time. Are you kidding me? That is the 5th greatest betrayal of all time. So that betrayal is bigger than Andre ripping the crucifix and tearing Hogan's shirt off. Savage hitting Hogan and attacking Hogan after everything that happened with Elizabeth. That's a better betrayal. Hell, Batista betraying Triple H and challenged him at WrestleMania. All bigger betrayals than that. But what do I know, right? I've just been watching the show for all 18 years of my life. I don't know anything.
That's cute.
Talk about the last 2 big things on Monday Night Raw, big things that I wanted to bring up. Dolph Ziggler defeating my dude Dean Ambrose to qualify for the WWE World Cup, and the Shield defeating Braun Strowman and Raw Tag Team Champion Dolph Ziggler. You have the explosion of that team there at the end of the show, where they go from there. But those 2 being the biggest things, or at least the last biggest things to me that I wanted to bring up, along with all the other stuff that was in between.
Steve, you said something incorrect. It's not the World Cup. It's the America Cup.
Yes, there is no World Cup in this. Not a single. Yeah, Rey Mysterio's in it, but he was born in America.
Yep. They had a chance with Nakamura, but they said, nah.
They could have had Rusev.
Once again, I got a lot to talk about with SmackDown 1000.
Who's the best in America? Who's the best in America? Who's the best American?
That's probably then we go to John Cena.
Once again, I have a lot to talk about with SmackDown 1000 when we get to it. And it's not going to be all negative, but it's going to be probably some negative for reasons that shouldn't have been. No. But in terms of the last 2 matches on Raw, Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler didn't. I really barely paid attention because I just couldn't care enough. Then when Corbin came out and just said, we're going to get the Shield versus the Dogs of War again. Like, it's the 3rd time in a week and a half we've gotten this match. You gave it to us at Super Showdown. You gave it to us on Raw last week. Then you're going to give it to us again. And literally, I think we've gotten a one-on-one match between everyone anyway. So why do we keep having to see this? And it's not that it was bad, but because I don't think those 6 are capable of having a bad match, but I didn't care enough. Literally, the only thing that was interesting was after the match when Drew hit the Claymore on Braun Strowman. That was interesting because that's a legit feud I want to see. Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, that'd be pretty good. But other than that, Dean teasing the dirty deeds on Seth or something, but WWE has just gone all over the place. The Dean Ambrose heel turn. I just can't get into it because you had literally in 2 weeks you tried to, because you wanted to get more people excited for the Australia show. Then long-term booking that shot yourself in the foot. Those are important stuff. The other stuff no one gave a damn about.
What do you guys think of Apollo Crews' likely temporary push?
It won't last. He'll probably fuel the life about a couple weeks, and we'll get the effect of having multiple matches on Raw that don't lead anywhere. And then after that, Apollo goes back down to catering, and Elias is going to continue to do what he's doing.
It's quite something with the Apollo Crews. Triple H is trying to hide Apollo Crews in NXT from Vince McMahon because he knows that Vince McMahon wouldn't want to shoot up another bodybuilder onto the main roster. And then it's funny. There's an adage, there's a saying that once you get something, sometimes you don't even know what you're going to do with it. And that's what happens with Apollo Crews.
But that's everybody from NXT. That's not just Apollo Crews. That's people like Sandy and Andrade and Apollo Crews. That's not just Apollo Crews. Amber Moon, too, for crying out loud. That's a lot of people from NXT. They don't know what the hell they're doing with them once they get there. If at least with everyone else I named, at least they were kind of ready to go to the main roster. Apollo was brought up way too early. Like, they brought him up for no reason.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
He definitely could have used some more time in NXT. He debuted at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 1, which was in August 2015, and then he was on the main roster the night of WrestleMania 32, which was April 2016. That's barely half a year. He needed way more time in NXT than that.
Yeah, they shot up Baron Corbin pretty fast as well. He fought Austin Aries at one time, and then he was gone. Rusev got shot up really quickly. I knew he would shoot up quickly. Look at the size of him. Um, Big E wasn't there long either. Yeah, there's a pattern with the kind of people that don't stay in NXT long. Same thing with Kevin Owens. He didn't stay there long.
Oh, he damn sure didn't stay in long. Well,
yeah.
I mean, he did come up. He's still the NXT champion, so he was hopping on shows. But he debuted in NXT in December, won the title in February, and then was on the main roster and was in May. So yeah, he definitely wasn't NXT long, but he was still on NXT defending the title and things like that.
Mm.
All right. Let's move on over to SmackDown Live. This SmackDown 1000 episode from Washington, D.C. And the show starting off with
a dance break.
Dance break. Truth TV. Stephanie McMahon coming out there, the first general manager of SmackDown. And you have Shane McMahon finally coming back, current commissioner of SmackDown Live. And then Mr. McMahon himself, see the McMahon family out there. And you guys already said dance break, ending the segment there. So I guess your overall thoughts on the start of the historic SmackDown 1000th episode.
I'll take the reins from here.
You go first.
Yes, please. It started with a dance break. They had another dance break. Cameo, dance break. That's exactly how the segment went in booking, and then they didn't give a shit anymore. This was the laziest opening I've seen in any fucking sporting event I've ever seen in my life. You're going to celebrate 1,000 episodes of one of your flagship shows, $1 billion show worth the Fox, and the genius you have is cameo dance break. This company has no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're just pumping out content, and they don't even, some people say like, oh, they're just trying to see what sticks to the wall. No. They're literally, they have a bunch of balls in their hand. They're throwing it up in the air, and they don't care where it lands. That's WWE. Just give us more balls. Let's throw in the air. They don't care. And how the show went on, it was the exact same thing. None of the cameos had any reason to be there other than to just pop in and say hi and bye. It was worthless from beginning to end. And that's extremely disrespectful to the SmackDown show that made its way all those years, damn near 2 decades of, well, what used to be great television and what it is now. And to prove that SmackDown's fall from grace, not only their ratings, but their creativity. If you look at the beginning of the show, when they were doing the highlight packages of the great years of SmackDown, they only have one of the current last 5 years of highlights, and that's Randy Orton putting his pervy hands on the AD in the back.
They had AJ win the title from Jinder Mahal in there.
The rest of the stuff on that thing was like crazy stuff there. Explosion, destruction, people like Mark Henry pulling the bus and whatnot there, and like Lay Cool and all this crazy antics. And the current crap is, oh look, some guy has hands in somebody's face. Oh look, someone winning a title. Wow. Great. I'm on the edge of my seat, guys. Yeah, you see Karen's face right there, fans? See Karen's face? That was my face the entire time. I'm done.
Yeah, that opening segment was pretty much the catalyst for the whole show. It's a one word. If I had to describe that show in one word, rushed. I'm not now. I'm always against shows being longer than necessary. But if there was ever a time when you need a show to be more than 2 hours, it was this show. This show needed 3 hours because everything was rushed. All the matches, and the thing is, I'm not gonna say the show was garbage or anything like that. It was better. I mean, I'll say this. It's better than Raw 25, but it's not as good as Raw 1000. Because Raw 1000, yeah, I always go back to the show because it's one of my favorite episodes.
That's a pretty cool episode, yeah.
It was a great episode because they used every minute of that show to its advantage. SmackDown 1000 only had 2 hours. I mean, even to the opening video package. I'm not saying opening video package of SmackDown 1000 was bad or anything. When I compared to the opening video patch of Raw 1000, I still remember the song, for crying out loud. It doesn't compare. And this show felt like WWE. And once again, look at Raw 1000. They promoted the hell out of that show for months. We barely even got any promotion about SmackDown 1000 until about a month ago. This is what happens when you have a bunch of big shows so close to each other. And you have the opening segment, which wasn't garbage, but anything you could have, like, for example, they talk about, Stephanie's the first general manager of SmackDown, which is true. Why not have her come out to her old theme from that era? That would have been a nice callback, and it wouldn't have been too much work. But no. Sure, it was nice seeing the McMahon's in a ring, but once again, it was just a cut cameos that didn't go anywhere. And I'm not going to talk about the rest of the show here, but most of the show, that's how I felt, was completely rushed. It needed 3 hours because when you got matches like Rey Mysterio versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which on paper sounded like a great match, they had to finish so fast, and then the Undertaker promo. Well, we'll get to the Undertaker promo later. Well, if you can call it that, but that's the problem with SmackDown 1000. Why it wasn't a terrible show. It was rushed, and WWE did not take pride in the show.
Excuse me. Remember how on Raw, Taker and Kane had 3 words for DX, and then on SmackDown, Taker had the same words for DX. I got 3 words for this SmackDown 1000: lazy, rushed, useless. Mic drop, bitches.
I mean, are we? Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the thing is, we're not. If this was just a regular episode of SmackDown that was not this big a milestone, I would not be this negative because it was actually a good show. But when the tagline of 1000 comes the burden of good and more than good. It's like I said, I always look at Raw 1000 as one of the best specials. And I'm looking at this show like, okay, you should have gone all out for this show. I mean, you should have had the fist set, which everyone was asking for. You should have had Pyro. You should have
Pyro. This company doesn't have any money for the Pyro. You serious? You don't have any money?
And
Steve, come on, back me up. They have no money.
That's the
save all the money they got.
They have no money.
That's the biggest problem with the show is that WWE, since the beginning of SmackDown, always felt like they always pushed SmackDown more to the side. And never was that more evident than Tuesday night. With arguably the biggest episode of SmackDown ever. And that was what you give us? I mean, and even the worst part is they didn't give us video packages on the night. They just gave us pictures. Like, you gotta be kidding me. And once again, if it was a regular episode of SmackDown, I said it was a great episode of SmackDown. But because of that 1000, then I'm gonna be a lot more critical because then I was the same way for Raw 25, which let's be honest, SmackDown 1000 was better than Raw 25 because that show was god awful. But where is the pride in this? Is the second longest running show you've had, and 1,000 episodes, and this is the best you can give us. We should have gotten an extra hour and more people and more, trying to flesh out everything. But let's keep going on with the show.
Steve, Mr. Positive over there, what did you think of SmackDown 1000?
I do agree on some of the points, especially the main point that I agree with Kyron Chase in his thoughts on SmackDown 1000 is that it should have went 3 hours. It should have went longer.
More cameos.
Cameos better. What?
More cameos. Yeah. More cameos doing nothing. Yeah.
Well, more cameos, but also the cameos that you were going to have are the people that you did have readily available to you, like the former GMs, using them properly. Than just a couple seconds there backstage with them. I have at least having them paraded, even simply paraded out there in the ring, something like that. At least would have been something that I would have been okay with and would have enjoyed. In that respect specifically. Obviously, the other part of it, which I'm sure all fans were hoping, was The Rock to be there, but he's a busy SOB, so
the tweet was good enough, right? Kyron, Steve, the tweet was good enough, right?
Well, the tweet's better than nothing, but not as great as actually being there. But But I did enjoy, having Edge, having Edge in the cutting edge with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, right? The best feud going in WWE. Then you had Evolution, which leading up to a Triple H Batista match, probably happening at WrestleMania. So those two segments did pretty dang well for me. I did enjoy finally the Old Day losing their SmackDown Tag Team titles to the Bar. Though the Big Show randomly appearing and doing another turn. But beyond that, the Bar winning the championship, and when the championship match is happening on SmackDown Live, and you have a special SmackDown episode, one does think that the titles will be changing hands. So it's not automatic, but you have a special episode, you have a title match, whatever title it is, main title or otherwise, usually the title is going to change hands. And thank the Lord above it did here with the Bar defeating the New Day and winning the SmackDown Tag Team titles. You had Rey Mysterio coming back in a qualifying match for what is still called the WWE World Cup, defeating U.S. champion Shinsuke Nakamura in that qualifying match. And you have The Undertaker returning, which I was hyped for. And he only had 5 minutes for it because USA Network does pigeonhole SmackDown Live to that 9 o'clock time, 9 p.m. Central time to end there. Where on Raw, it can go at, I would assume, max 15 minutes over the 10 p.m. Central time for their 3-hour show. So I was a little disappointed in the Undertaker appearance. For being as short as it was, they could have managed that a lot better. Again, whether it was having an extra hour of the show or otherwise. But all in all, if I was to grade SmackDown 1000 in my positivity and in my eyes, I would give the grade for Raw 1000 a flat B overall for the show. So that's my spin, Steve's take on the SmackDown 1000 overall.
It's
that B better be for Becky.
I'm gonna just skim through the rest of the show. And this is not in order, but Evolution, all right, that was good. I'm not even gonna deny everything I've done Evolution. Now I love that segment. That was good. I mean, when that music hit, I'm not gonna act like I felt like a 3-year-old kid again. I'm not gonna lie, that music hit.
So you marked out, okay.
But after that, you had Rusev and The Miz go less than a minute, and then here's the worst thing is they brought Kurt Angle off of commentary. Like, this is someone who was legit. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, you got a legit SmackDown legend in Kurt Angle. We bring him back for commentary for one
I was just vomiting up that grade. I was vomiting up that grade that Steve gave. Sorry.
And like, here's what I wish WWE had done. I would have had John Cena come back to Dr. Thugonomics and do a rematch of Rap Battle with him and Kurt. That would have been good. But I mean, but no, we can't get that. I mean, you could have done that.
I would have popped for that one.
That would have been good. And then you had with the New Day and the New Day versus the Bar, which wasn't a bad match. Granted, it should have been longer, but you didn't have the time. You bring Jerry Lawler and Booker T for commentary that didn't like they knew what the hell they were doing. I mean, it probably would have been easy, but if you want SmackDown announce team, you should have got Michael Cole and Taz. That would have been good. And then the cutting edge segment was okay. It was great hearing Tony Timo announce Edge.
And what about the lack of pyro when Edge put his fingers up?
That hurt my heart. I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
But the problem with that, here's what I left about that segment. I love Edge's promo up until when he was saying about trying to make Becky feel like, oh, you got to be good again. I'm like, wait a minute, you're the guy who stepped over everyone to get a world title. You're the guy who cashed in Money in the Bank twice. You're the guy who had a live sex celebration. You're the guy who in real life stole your best friend's girl to elevate yourself. And now you're telling Becky, not to do what she's doing. It's amazing how hard they're still trying to get the fans to boo Becky. And here's the beauty of it, and I tweeted this. If disrespecting Edge of all people on SmackDown won't get Becky Lynch booed, nothing will. If disrespecting Edge and saying, get out of my ring and don't hurt your neck on the way out, and she got a loud-ass ovation, if that doesn't get her booed, nothing will. WWE, just stop trying. It's not going to work. No one's going to boo her because like everyone was saying, no one has a reason to because everyone's been in her shoes of being held down for so long. And their best friend, due to privilege, getting everything that they deserve. So no one's gonna boo Becky Lynch.
Oh.
And when that happened, and when that was the last test for me. I said, okay, she disrespect Edge. Let's see how the crowd reacts. Loud ass cheer. It's over. You can't get the fans to boo this woman. Just stop trying to make fans boo her. But her and Charlotte and I've heard reports that Becky has an injured jaw, but the way she sounded perfectly fine. I mean, she didn't like she was, in pain. So I don't know if she's good at hiding it or the jaw injury isn't as bad as people made it out to be. But she didn't look, like her jaw was messed up in any way. That time wasn't bad, but at the same time, it's like why, you're trying to use Edge to get Becky booed, but even that won't work. So at what point is just throwing a towel? It's accepted. But after that, Big Show turning heel was completely stupid. And here's what WWE should do. I would pair Becky with the Bar. And since the Usos beat the WWE champion number one contender for the WWE title, why don't they get a number one contender shot? And maybe after Evolution, you can run a series of matches of Becky and the Bar versus the Usos and Naomi. Because, I mean, the Becky and the Bar seem, cool with each other. I think that'd be a pretty good team. Why not run that? But once again, I don't know anything. The Undertaker promo, do I even need to talk about that? I mean, I could talk long about the promo than the actual promo itself. I mean, because literally, as soon as Rey Mysterio beat Nakamura, you hear the gong. And I'm looking at my phone like, oh my God, we got 5 minutes left. What's gonna happen? And the Undertaker is gonna take him about 3 minutes to get to the ring. So he gets to the ring and says, and Crown Jewel DX will rest in peace. And that was the end of the show. That's it. That's all we get. And I don't usually agree with Bleacher Report on that grade. They're giving that segment an F. And I gotta agree because that segment alone, you could have taken that off of SmackDown 1000 and literally nothing would have been lost. Because it was the exact same thing Hayden Kane said in that video package on Raw. And to that credit, at least it was shot very well and it looked good.
Steve, what do you give that Taker promo on SmackDown? What do you give it?
And in terms of my grade for SmackDown 1000,
you better cover him for him. Steve, give that grade, man.
In terms of my grade, and my grade,
I already gave a grade for the show.
No, grade that segment. Grade the Taker segment.
Oh man,
grade it, man. It was awesome, right?
Before I let Steve go with that grade,
I expected more.
Okay.
I gotta give the show, honestly, I'll probably give it a C+ because the Evolution segment was good, and the stuff with Becky on the cutting edge was good. Besides, what Edge was telling Becky, but like I said, if this was a regular episode of SmackDown Live, I would have at least given it a B. But like I said, with that 1000 moniker, then that instantly is gonna up expectations because I don't go in a lot of WWE shows with high expectations anyway. But with something like this, I expect the best you can give me. And even if USA would not give WWE that third hour for SmackDown Live, you could have ran a third hour on the network. A third hour on the network.
True.
Or you could have streamed the third hour on YouTube crying out loud. And given it more time. But no, we don't get none of that. And that's my biggest problem with SmackDown 1000. It was rushed and everything didn't feel special enough. I mean, things you should have had actual video of old things on SmackDown. You should have had a full video tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Things like that. You had the stuff with the general manager in the back. You could clearly tell that was supposed to be longer than it should have been. Just a couple, showing Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, and John Laurinaitis, and then Vicky telling them, excuse me. That should have been a little bit a longer segment. But we don't get none of that either. The biggest problem with SmackDown 1000 was missed opportunity. And when you have a show that's supposed to be this big, and it doesn't feel like, and this doesn't even feel like it was the biggest SmackDown episode of all time. Hell, the 9/11 felt bigger than this, and I was only a baby when that happened.
Okay, the SmackDown 1000 grade that I give it is a whopping, gigantic A. I give it AD. There we go. I give it AD. There we go. Out of here, dude. No fucking way. The show's lucky I didn't give it a fucking F there. But at least I can find some small shining diamond in that turd that was SmackDown 1000. The only good thing which is why I didn't get a D minus or an F. The only good thing about it is how good Carmella looked in that short ass dress. That's it. Everything else was useless. Cameos we expected. We got them. And they did absolutely nothing. All the cameos. Batista's one in the middle of the show. He said something cool, which is why it's not a complete F, but it led to, say it with me, nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly. Absolutely nothing.
Here's a question for you, Clack, man. Here's a question, Clack, man. If this was a regular episode of SmackDown Live, what would you have given it?
It wouldn't be regular episode of SmackDown because the cameos wouldn't be there. The cameos wouldn't be there. It's a special episode, so cameos have to be there. It's like a prerequisite.
But here's the thing, though. I just felt like, where was everyone else? I mean, you had a segment backstage.
They were going to put Christian on the show.
Yeah,
something about that one, but it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. Well, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Come out there and say, "I was a world heavyweight champion until I lost it a week later, and I may come back for one more match or and then leave." Shit.
You know what you do to use Christian? This would WWE. See, they weren't smart enough to think about this. If you really want to do this stuff with, the promo with Edge and Becky, why not do this instead? Why don't you have the Cutting Edge Peep Show and have Edge and Christian do it? You can have Edge still say, you can have Christian say what Edge was saying, because that would work. Because, he felt like, you could say, well, he felt like Edge stepped over him a little bit. And you could have Edge taking Becky's side and saying, you do whatever it takes. That would have worked better.
Christian could have been like, I know what it's like to be in the shadow of a friend who's doing better than yourself. It's one of those things. That would have been nice.
Hell, then there's the smallest thing. Like, for example, they showed backstage to the point where Edge was talking to Kurt Hawkins. Would have killed him just to have Zack Ryder standing there as well. And that's the smallest thing you could have done. And this is the biggest problem with this show and Raw 25. I think this show did a little bit better than Raw 25. Once again, did not do as good as Raw 1000. It was trying to bounce nostalgia, but still pushing storylines. Like, Raw 25 didn't know which one it wanted to be. Did it want to be a special episode, or did it want to be building up to the Royal Rumble, which was 6 days later? With SmackDown 1000, you have Evolution, which is a week from Sunday, which they got to build to, and then Crown Jewel, which is just a couple days after that. And granted, did anyone notice that they never said what Crown Jewel is going to be? They still have not said that. And with Raw 1000, they had just came off a pay-per-view 6 days earlier, so they didn't have to build for anything. Granted, SummerSlam was coming up, and they still built towards Lesnar and Triple H in the triple threat WWE title match, and even a little bit of Jericho Ziggler, but nothing felt out of place, because Raw 1000 had 3 hours and it didn't have a lot of wrestling. Most of Raw 1000 was segments, and that was perfectly fine because it was that big. Like, say what you want about when WWE, but you could tell when you watch Raw 1000 that they put their heart and soul into making that show good, and it was good. I didn't feel like that for SmackDown 1000, and that's a problem. And it doesn't surprise me because WWE never really. You always look at SmackDown as the weakest show, even when the brand splits happened the first time and later, when SmackDown was kicking Raw's ass. They still made it look like Raw was the better show, and they're still doing it now. It doesn't surprise me. I just feel like when a show this big, there should be a lot more to it.
Oh, and to give my grade for that Undertaker segment there, Kleckman.
Yes, please.
If I had to grade the Undertaker segment that literally was just 5 minutes, I'd give it a D+. Specifically for that segment. So,
well, he got his words out and he showed up. That's why it doesn't get an F.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it gets an F for me. I mean, I wasn't that excited for it anyway because, especially once I saw it was only 5 minutes left in the show. I mean, I didn't think, and knowing the Undertaker, I didn't think it was gonna be a long promo anyway. But when I saw that, I mean, as soon as I saw it was 5 minutes left. I'm not really. What are they gonna do? That's it. Wow. F. And like I always say, it's best to have a mediocre show end good than an okay show end bad. Because when you have a mediocre show end good, then at least that's gonna make people look more, positively on the show. When you have a mediocre show end bad, then everyone's gonna look at how poor the whole show was. Like, I always look at WrestleMania 32 as my biggest example. The whole show was mediocre, minus 3 matches. But when you ended with that 27-minute board fest that was Roman Reigns and Triple H, everyone was saying it was one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. And that's how fans, perception works. If SmackDown 1000 had ended on an incredible segment or incredible moment, everyone would be saying it was a good show. For example, Raw 1000, remember how it ended with CM Punk turning heel on The Rock, and it was a heel turn that was justified. So it ended on such a good moment, ended on a good moment, so everyone looks at the show as good. SmackDown 1000 was not that.
Yeah, it could have been better. Wasn't. It should have been, but it be what it be. Now, the main thing I want to talk about here tonight, like I said in the opening, is of the show that I guess may still be in Saudi Arabia. Who knows? But that is WWE Crown Jewel. Will the show stay there? It's looking like they're still going to go ahead as planned. Some WWE superstars have shared their opinion on it, specifically Randy Orton, whether they should go there or not. What are you guys' thoughts on this whole situation dealing with WWE Crown Jewel?
I went first last time. Go for it, Kyra.
Where do I begin on this? I mean, it's hard to really have my own thoughts on it when JD covered it so well in Off the Script Part 1 on Friday. But you look at the Saudi Arabian government, and I try to stay out of politics, but this is one of those times I got to talk about it. It's obvious that they did what they did. They killed the journalist, or at least the prince oversaw it. And it's the same prince that Vince McMahon was seen shaking his hand and taking pictures with. And basically, this is a country who kills people who speak out against them, discriminates against the LGBT and women. And there are actually those superstars that aren't looking forward, aren't excited, don't want to go to the show. What about them? What do you think the Saudi government might do? What happens to them if something like that happens? Granted, I know David's gonna be protected, but still. And with Vince is like, what's more important? The backing, and what happens if sponsors get involved? Like, they don't want them to be doing this. What's more important to Vince? The money Saudi Arabia is gonna give you, knowing that this is a country who kills, discriminates against the LGBT and women, or the sponsors that have had your back and help make your company what it is today. And then the worst thing is, the Saudi Arabian government doesn't give a damn about Vince. This is a company, a country I don't even think knows much about what WWE's going on now. I mean, for crying out loud, the first time that they had a show, which is the Greatest Royal Rumble, they asked if they can get Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna on the show, not knowing that those two had passed away a long time ago. And I'm looking at like, they don't care about Vince. They're just trying to see what we're doing Vince with this company. We're a good country. Like, no. I just feel like, are you going to cancel it or not? If you can't just cancel it because, it's not that easy. But Vince, you got to do whatever you can to back out of this deal. And then you have Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement for this. Like, that country does not deserve Shawn Michaels' his first match in 8 years. It doesn't. If it was me, I would move the show personally. Where to move it to? Because because the show is only in about 2 weeks.
Are you gonna move the show for future events as well?
See, that's the problem. I mean, getting out of this deal was not as easy as it seems.
Holy shit! Yeah, no.
But I really just can't answer that question. I can't. I want to. I can't answer. I don't have anything to say about it. This is on Vince and Vince alone. You do the right thing or not. I really don't care. All I know is, we'll just have to see.
All I know is, if you want Pyro back on WWE, just pay him $20 million, and they'll put Pyro back on the shows. Simple. Just give him a shitload of money, and they'll put Pyro back for one episode. Yeah. I'm almost positive it's like one person that didn't like Pyros, and that was good enough to say, you know what, no more Pyro. I don't think it has anything to do with money.
Yeah, that would just make things worse. Like, this one person had enough clout to say that he or she didn't want Pyro, so they decided, we're not going to go with Pyro. I think it'd be a little bit more than that to be the reason they decided to not go with Pyro anymore. Beyond a single person or even a group of people, there'd be some kind of financial reasoning or actual business reasoning of why they're not going to use Pyro on their shows anymore, or an actual credible, tangible reason for that. So if that was the case, if that was actually true, then yeah, just wow, because that just doesn't make sense to me. Because there would have to be more of an actual legitimate reason for something like that to go away when then it does come back to these special shows that are out of country, that are overseas. So they do it for those special shows because they very rarely go to those locations or areas like Melbourne or Saudi Arabia, where you think you'd want to adhere to fans in your own country and your show is here, United States, stateside, and have Pyro when needed. So I don't know. Hear my side of that. As in regards to Crown Jewel, I think it would be best to move it, but not cancel it. You already have a card, a whole card made for the show. Date time this and that. I think it just would be best to move it rather than to cancel it. But I do have a feeling that they are going to continue as planned. It's going to be, I just think they're just going to move forward and be in Saudi Arabia. And
the only way they're going to cancel the show is if Roman Reigns decides not to do the match because he's feared for his life in Saudi Arabia.
Here's the thing. There's only one person I think that can talk Vince out of doing the show, and that's the Undertaker.
Ooh, that's good, yeah.
Because that's the only person Vince will ever really listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Triple H. So, I mean, no matter what we say, no matter what happened, I don't think they're gonna move or cancel the show. I don't think that. I've heard rumors of them canceling, but nothing's came up. And until WWE gives an official statement on WWE.com on their Twitter or Facebook, I have no reason to believe the show got canceled or moved.
Next year, around this time, when they go back to Saudi Arabia, they're going to call the event something else. I think they're going to shy away from the name completely and not even talk about it, just like they don't talk about Great Balls of Fire this year. They're not going to do it anymore.
I mean, that's the thing, though. They can't just say they're not going to do it anymore. They signed a 10-year deal with Saudi Arabia.
No, the name.
Oh. I mean, WWE knows doing this show is going to get them in hot water because both on Raw and SmackDown, they didn't mention a damn thing about Saudi Arabia. They talked about Crown Jewel. They never said anything about Saudi Arabia itself. But, I don't want to say the wrong things because, but at the same time, it's like, well, you see what this country's doing, Vince, and you know your country, your company that you built, your family's built for almost a whole century. It can take probably the biggest hit it's ever taken. It's taking the steroid trial, and you're not going to do anything about it. Why? Is the money really worth that much?
Yes.
WWE makes enough money.
Nope.
It'd be at one point, let's say they were about to go bankrupt. They had to do the show. That's one thing.
I agree.
They make enough money where they don't need the Saudi Arabia government to back them.
Did you know that WWE stock is one of the highest in the entire world? It's higher than Sony. It's higher than Nintendo. It's higher than Capcom. It's higher than Sinclair Broadcasting, which they were afraid of about the whole MSG, NJPW supercard thing. They were afraid of them. But their stock is like quadruple Sinclair stock. And WWE is they're doing very well in the stock market, but I guess they want to. It's the old adage of you never have enough money.
Exactly. Like I said before, I always talk about WWE. Is I don't like when they make a lot of money because the product suffers. I still stand by that, but money's not worth this. This is gonna especially if they go through with the show. They got heat. They got a little bit of heat for going through the Great Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia because the women weren't, allowed to go. But this is on a whole nother level. If they, especially, and then they're hypocritical because you had this all women's pay per view, just 3 or 4 days before this, and then you're gonna go back to this country that don't allow the women to wrestle. So that's already hypocritical enough. But the fact that this government oversaw someone being tortured and murdered, and you're gonna still ride with this country and do business with them, this is gonna be the biggest hit your company's taken since the steroid trial and nearly put you in jail. because they murder someone, and you're still taking money from them. Yep. How does that make you look?
I still would be surprised if they do pull out of the contract or try to, or cancel the event. I do agree though, they took the Undertaker, but I don't even think that it'll change Vince's mind. He'll at least listen more than he would if it was somebody else. I mean, heck, even if he got a phone call from the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, I don't even think that would change his mind. He probably still would. Vince plan to go to Saudi Arabia, have the show as planned, and just have the show and then move on from there, sort of thing. Thinking that way, but I guess like Aaron said, we have to wait and see if they show they have the show, and us as fans just watch it, comment on it, with our own channels and here, and go from there. I guess in that way as wrestling fans, and so in that sense. So either way, first up is Evolution. Somewhat looking forward to that. Then we have Crown Jewel right after on the Friday. So something will be interesting. The back-to-back events on the WWE Network. More so Evolution than Crown Jewel, at least for me. In which one I'm more interested in than the latter. But either way, I think that's pretty much it and everything. Unfortunately, Mark Ramble was unable to make it. Hopefully, him and Raunchy Mikey are able to make it next week with the predictions for Evolution. Haven't heard from Raunchy in a very long time. There's a lot of thoughts on Evolution, the first ever women's pay-per-view event. I don't know if he'll give predictions, but at least be a part of the show. It'd be nice to have Raunchy back, and of course Mark, who's been busy with work at school and other things in life going on. Hope to have him back from the channel as well. The whole team, our own Evolution group team here to talk the pay-per-view event called WWE Evolution. So if there's anything else or left you guys want to say, if not, welcome to just put yourself over. Let people know where they can find you on social media and otherwise. Clarkman.
Yo, Clackman.
What?
You didn't hear me say,
Crown Jewel, blah, blah, blah. They're not leaving, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. Yep.
Yeah, you're going to put yourself over before we go out?
Oh, yeah. Quackman YouTube, Quack off Twitter. I'm out.
All right, Karen?
Follow me on YouTube, Kyron Chase, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, SplashBro Kyron. Instagram, SplashBro_Kyron. Tumblr and DeviantArt, Kyron Chase. YouTube, Kyron Chase. I do videos on Wrestling Sonic the Hedgehog, My Little Pony Friendship with Magic. I do reaction videos from time to time. I don't know my next video on my main channel will be, but I mean, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna probably review Evolution. Back over to you, Steve.
All right, and thanks everybody that watched live, watched archive. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Aaron, above all else, as always, take care.
Peace out. Evolution is a mystery, full of change that no one sees.